Hey folks, Troy Dooley, the Beachside CEO, and I tell you what, this weekend is a great weekend for us because we literally are streaming. This is our beta week where we're starting the new show. We're beta testing everything out here to where we'll be on IGTV, YouTube. Hey, for Corey Augustine, we're now going to be on YouTube, so I think you're going to be happy with that one. And we're also going to be live streaming over at YouTube. So I want to thank, first and foremost, Maple Street Biscuit Company for being our #1 supporter. When I approached them for this new project to say, look, I really want to hit Main Street entrepreneurs, not just here in America. Because I live on an island where we get a lot of folks that just come in. They're just constantly traveling in and out from Europe, South America, and everywhere. We're anticipating to have quite a few different entrepreneurs that we're going to be able to interview and really kick this thing up. So I am stoked. We're running 3 different cameras. We're messing around, playing with this to see how it's going to go. But we are excited. The new website should be up by September, the way everything is working out now. So we're kind of pre-doing the shows. I do want to say this. In the near future, the shows will be streaming live off of Business News Desk on Facebook. It won't be off of my direct page. More than likely, I mean, the crew may tell me something different on that. We'll see. But Maple Street is one of our large supporters. Freddie Sheets over at Allen's Cool Ink. Now, Freddie's been doing my tattoos. Andrew's done some of my tattoos. You guys have seen my work. I'm getting some new work done this week that we've had scheduled. So I'm excited about that. But he is one of the top-notch tattoo artists in the nation here in Destin, Florida. You can go in there, set an appointment. Here's the other cool thing about Allen's Cool Ink. If you've got a tattoo that just doesn't fit anymore, if you've got other things that you might need to have removed, if you have piercings that you want, this is the crew to go to. They have a wonderful laser removal. I've seen it in progress. I've seen it in work. You can get your work done there at Allen's Cool Ink. So if you're in town, call up Freddie. Tell him I sent you over there. Probably won't get you a discount, but he may tell you some stories about me. So you can go there. Also, the DS Edge. We have got this thing going October 17th and 18th in Dallas, Texas. If you're in Dallas and you're thinking about launching a company, you're a company owner or an executive there, you want a little bit of guidance in what's going on, I challenge you to show up at the DS Edge event. We're going to be talking about everything that's current, everything that's happening, everything that's going on. It's going to be a great place for you to get that inside information. Plus, every one of us take time to meet with people at the DS Edge one-on-one. And I don't know what everyone charges. I have no idea what Kevin Grimes, Kevin Thompson, what these guys charge who are attorneys, Jay Leisner. I have no clue. We have so many great people that are going to be there. But when someone calls and says, Troy, we would like to talk to you about our business, I know what I charge. And if it's just a phone call, it's going to last an hour. Then what we look at is about $370 an hour. That's what I charge. If I have to fly to a location, if we're going to be gone 2 or 3 days, it's several $1,000s to cover that. And here for, like $250, you get one-on-one attention. You can sit down with us. You can talk to all of us. When you look at the combined experience, the combined knowledge that's there, it's a huge amount. It's something that I strongly suggest that you show up at the DS Edge. If you want to get your business maybe hitting that all 8 cylinders again, if you're starting a business, if you want to find out, what happens behind the scenes. I'm just a rep. I'm just a guy that's in the field, and I want to know what happens. I challenge you to go. You can go to dsedge.com, get all the information that you need, and roll with it from there. Also, Larry and Taylor Thompson, the first Gig Economy Summit's coming up in September. They've been a huge supporter of mine. I just love these two. Larry is really pushing and helping companies understand how to build, how to get that gig economy there. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about gig economy versus side hustle, but this is going to be an important part. And then my #1 supporter, someone who from day one has just been there, and that is my lovely wife, Paige. You can go to Amazon, you can go to some bookstores, you can pick up her books. but she has been my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, and she's always there for me. And today she and some of the girls are sick, and we're getting this thing done anyway, and then we'll be headed to the house to take care of everything else that's going on. So I'm excited about that. Hey, I want to talk about some stuff, and you guys can see when we put this up, we're going to be talking about company specifics in some areas today, because I'm very concerned about a few things that we've been reading out there on the internet, and I think you guys need to be concerned about them too. Looking at the crypto economy, looking at what's going on. As soon as crypto started its rise again, and you know, we've gone from about $4,800 a BTC up to today it's been bouncing $9.99, 10.1, $9.99, 10.1. It's doubled. And as soon as that happens, then you have all the craziness that comes back out into the world. It just everything. And one of the companies, brands, apps, whatever you want to say, is one called Cloud Token Wallet. I'm seeing a lot of buzz, a lot of hype. So we did a little due diligence, haven't dug deep into this. But I went over to the Apple store, because that's the greatest place to look. And there's literally nothing there. This company is based internationally. There's nothing fancy about it. They use a lot of hype, a lot of fancy marketing terms. Well, let me tell you a short story. This week, one of my good friends had one of his wallets hacked and lost $7,000. If you're not in a top-notch wallet, if you're not utilizing best of practices, companies that are up on the regulation side of it, they've been pioneers in the blockchain technology and the security and the wallet side of this, and you don't want to do business with them, I don't care who they are. Okay, they have to prove themselves out. When all these companies that are internationally can be hacked, and we see all these coins disappear, then you've got to be careful where you're putting your money. Coinbase, phenomenal. Uphold, phenomenal. Some of the other big names out there that are great, you know, blockchain itself, great, blockchain.com, good companies. There's some processors out there like BitPay, BitGo, some of these where you can work. Study it. I'm not going into detail. What I'm saying is, when I see the hype around, oh, get in here, you're going to make lots of money, give us $500, it's going to turn into $50,000. Number one, they're not legal in the United States if they're doing that. You do not give any of your Bitcoin, any of your other crypto to anyone. Your wallet, your money, your BTC, your whatever. I don't care if you're using E-Trade and you're selling stocks or buying stocks. Whatever, that's your money. The company can never touch the money. I've got clients, and we're very strict on this. The regulations are clear. You cannot touch other people's money. As soon as you do, you literally go into a security situation. You go into things where we have black and white laws on this stuff. So you do not want to get into that. If you're in a company where they say, hey, we're going to, you give us the money, we tie it up for 6 months, it's in a big wallet, we all have it. No, okay? I've been messing with this for a long, long time. A lot of you guys know the person that taught me the most about crypto has earned hundreds of millions of dollars in this. He taught me how to take the crypto, moving into hard assets. There's a whole strategy here. If you're into the crypto, you don't just give your access to someone else, give your money to someone else. I've had former clients that's had to be shut down, that are being liquidated, where listen, this is how bad this gets. I had a gentleman yesterday. You would know him, big time influencer in the direct sales arena. One of the companies that he was co-owners in did billions in sales. And he calls me on the phone and says, Troy, I've got these 3 goons that are coming to me for money because we were all in a crypto company that went south, and now they're holding me responsible. You don't want this, okay? You don't want to get involved in a company that if it looks too good to be true, if it's a lottery deal, if it looks like a roulette table, get away from it. Okay, you don't want to play in this. This isn't a gamble. Another company that's come up this week, and we're doing a lot of due diligence on this company. I followed this company for a while, and it's Carrot Bars. Carrot Bars in 2017, 2018, did a white paper. They were going to launch a crypto token that was backed by gold. If you guys know, Carrot Bars is in the gold business. They come from Germany. They finally started to really solidify their U.S. presence. They got an address, potentially an office. I just haven't been there, so I don't want to say for sure. But they got an office in New York. They finally established a location for their crypto coin bank that's in Miami. And then all of a sudden the news started hitting that their CTO, the third-party firm that they'd actually hired to create their ICO, to create the wallet, the infrastructure, had absconded with $12 million worth of their coins. Now, the concern that I have here is not that Carrot Bars is some illicit company or anything like that. Truly, I do not believe that's. I believe they're legal in Germany. They're legal in Europe. I'm still not quite sure all the legalities in the United States, but I don't think they're doing business in the United States trying to scam people. I want to be clear here. I just when I look through all of the financial regulatory licensing side in the state of Florida, whether that's a bank that's an FDIC bank, whether it's an international, and there's a variety, there's like 5 or 6 different things they could fall under. There's nothing there for Carrot Coin Bank at all. There are 2 incorporation filings. One, they actually changed their name, where the president of Carrot Bars has filed with the Secretary of State in the state of Florida. So obviously, if nothing else, they're in the process of getting this done. But the hype that I see is that, oh my gosh, this bank launched and they're a fully licensed bank. And I see no federal charter that has been issued. I see no state charter that's been issued. So I don't know what the terms licensed bank, fully licensed bank means. And then when I find that one person, this is from Carrot Bars themselves, one individual person had access to the wallet, that there were no safeguards in place, that there were no catch gaps here. And they were able to purportedly take $18 million that belonged to you guys. That raises concerns because of the I don't know what really happened. Is it he said, she said? What are the facts? We want to see the specific facts, because there are times when stories start to spin because the initial project that people thought they were going to be able to accomplish, they can't accomplish. It fails. So instead of saying we failed, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, man, we were right there. We were about ready to go. And all of a sudden, somebody just stole the money. And so I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing stuff written all over the place. I'd like to see the facts. We're trying to get into the European court system. It's a little different than what the U.S. court system is. So we're working with some of our strategic partners there to see, have there been court cases filed? Was there police reports done? Any of that type of stuff. We really want to be on top of that for you guys. So we're going to follow this story a little bit further. I'll let you know exactly what's going on, where it's at. Also, there was another story, and I reported on this earlier. I think it was last week. I wasn't going to report on this today, but I just thought of it again. I think this is very important. If I can literally find what I'm looking for. This had to do with crypto too. This was a company. They're still in business internationally. They're not really doing business here in the States right now, if I'm not mistaken. This is live. We get to do this because it's a beta. So I get so many messages that sometimes trying to literally find what it is I'm looking for. Here it is right here. We reported a few weeks ago that, I'm trying to think where we pulled the report. Here's the report right here. This is where we pulled it. Came from the Philippines. No, came from Thailand is where it came from. And it was a report that we did based on some stuff that we were seeing running it was all over the place. And we thought, okay, we better check on this. Johns Barksdale had been arrested for running a Ponzi scheme. It was awful. It was bad. Here's the deal. There was some not mistaken identity, just mistaken facts. The police worked very hard, very fast to get on top of this, to protect their citizens in their country. And then when the full truth came out, John and his crew had done nothing that broke the law. They were able to show where the miscommunication was, where this individual thought that he had been screwed when really everything was there. John is a longtime entrepreneur, longtime international entrepreneur, been in the business. Not always have I agreed with him, but if we report a story and then the facts come out that is somewhat different than the story that was reported originally, we want that information out there, and that's what we're doing right now, because whether it's John, whether it's me, doesn't matter who it is, all the facts need to come out in a situation. You don't just leave half-truths out there. Otherwise, you might as well just be running around doing a fake news report, and I hate that with a passion. Hey, what is the gig economy? What is a side hustle? These are questions that we get all the time with Larry Thompson, John Fleming, and these guys really pushing the gig economy. When you look at some of the big-time company owners that are out there, everyone's talking about the gig economy. You got to sit there and question and say, hey, am I in the gig economy? The gig economy, my opinion, looking at all the facts, it is really the overreaching area that companies such as Uber, Amazon, some network marketing companies, Lyft, Airbnb, this is the gig economy. It covers a lot of spectrum, some stuff that we haven't even gotten into yet. But the difference between the gig economy and the side hustle is you. You're the one looking for the side hustle. Maybe you are driving for Lyft, or you're driving for Uber, or you're driving for one of at least 6 different rideshare companies that now have some type of a multi-level compensation structure. Maybe you are with Amazon and you've got an Amazon store or an Etsy store or a Shopify store. You're the one that's looking for the side hustle. When you look at some of the new compensation tweaks that are taking place, you see that it's all about acquiring the customer. In a side hustle, you get paid for making the sale. I've got some relatives and they work for DoorDash, I think it is, or something Grub. I don't know. It's a delivery of food service. And I think Uber now has Uber Eats that's out there. So these are side hustles inside the gig economy. So when you start looking at the gig economy, you're going to see several other things that can be there. Matter of fact, K&E Travel is a company that is what we classify in the gig economy. They can give a side hustle. You can become a travel agent and you can make money on the side, marketing the different trips and all that stuff, not building organizations. Now, this is where we get a little tricky, because over the years, network marketing, direct sales, MLM, whatever you want to call it, has been the huge thing. People have said, hey, this is why this is so great, is because you've got residual income for life. And that's not true, and we all know it, so let's not pretend that it is. Okay, it's a great desire, it's a great focus to go to. But when companies out there like Advocare as one, cut the comp plan, when companies like Vima are shut down overnight by the FTC and people's residual income just dries up to nothing. When a company like AOL in the old days, which was a direct sales, changes its model. When a company like Sprint decides to cut off the independent marketing arm and go into Radio Shacks, we know that it just isn't true. And then when we dig deeper, and you guys have heard me report on this on the new site, we're going to do some really in-depth studies on this that'll be available on the membership side. But one of the things that you guys have to realize is that in 1986, the tax code got changed that made direct sellers taxable as independent contractors by companies. Now, what that basically means is that you're a statutory non-employee, which means you're a work for hire. Matter of fact, in our bonds new policies, it literally has something that almost states you're a work for hire. We can terminate you at any time. Most policies say that. So when we look at this and we look at the shift, we look at the change, yes, we're in the gig economy. Yes, it's a side hustle. Are you always going to be guaranteed 100% of revenue? And if you build it, you're families are going to get it forever. No, that isn't actually true. There are companies like Primerica that actually have a ownership purchase where you can actually own your code. It will always be yours. It's willable, arable. You can do all that cool stuff. There's companies like Mary Kay where you got to retire at 65. You don't have a choice. So you need to push out, look for that, look and understand that network marketing, direct sales, party plan, whatever you call it, is probably part of the gig economy. But a side hustle is what you personally are looking for, trying to make a change, trying to do stuff. And that's why we wanted to put out just a little bit this weekend on, hey, go study it yourselves. Go get a good, deep understanding. And then look at companies like K&E Travel, David Allen Capital, there's another one. Keller Williams, there's another one. Exit Realty. These are ones that you can make most of your money selling the products or the services. Build a little bit of organization if you want to, because they have ways of doing that. It's pretty cool when you look at that. But hey, here's another one real quick, and I'm going to let you guys go. I've got a sick wife, sick daughter, and it happens to be Lena's banquet from last year's gymnastics event this weekend. So she said she had to get a dress, get her nails done, and all that stuff, so we want to cover it. But there's been some talk this week. I had some talk with some influencers saying, hey, are folks that are in the gig economy, these people looking for side hustles, Main Street, if you will, business people, what are they really entrepreneurs? Are they business persons? Are they hobbyists? Are they independent professionals? What are they? And as I did some study, and I challenge you to do this study too. Sometimes we take common words and we think we know the definition of those common words, and then we don't. See, an entrepreneur, that would be the guy that launches the company that you're marketing for. Prime example, let me go back up to the top of the show where I was talking about Freddie Sheets. Freddie isn't the entrepreneur. Whoa, Troy. No. Alan Dixon, who started Alan's Cool Inc., he's the entrepreneur. He's the one that put his butt on the line, went out and leased the building, went out and bought the equipment, went out and put the store in, went out and found talent like Freddie Sheets, who has his own studio inside of Allen's. You say, well, Troy, what is Freddie? Freddie started out as a hobbyist, started out as an apprentice, and studied an art, and studied the craft, and learned and grew it. And now we could say that he's a business person, meaning he has his own business. We could also call him an independent professional because he goes out and he doesn't just stay at Allen's. He'll go to events, he goes to shows, he does his stuff. He could take another gig somewhere else if he wanted to and leave Allen's behind, but he wasn't the entrepreneur. When we talk about direct sellers, when we talk about real estate agents, when we talk about people that are in the gig economy and side hustles, those aren't entrepreneurs. The people that launch the company are entrepreneurs. I used to call it Main Street entrepreneurs. No, it's not. It's Main Street independent professionals. It's Main Street business people who go out there and they look for one small business, but they're not out there just throwing it all out. They just put their feet in. You take a person maybe that's puts a little bit of money in to buy a truck, a food truck. Do we call them an entrepreneur when they buy one truck, or are they just in the, they're an independent professional, they're a business person trying to make it. Now, if they get 2 or 3 trucks and they've bought them and now they're hiring a bunch of employees or they're hiring a bunch of independent contractors, I think we could call them employees, or not employees, but entrepreneurs. When I looked at this, here's some things. I'm going to pull this up. I think I can pull this up and still chat with y'all. Let's see if we can pull this. Probably it's in another browser. Let's look. Let's look here at some of the, I'm going to name off these. These are what we classify independent professionals, not entrepreneurs. These are people that are maybe they started out as a hobbyist. Matter of fact, here's a great one. People laugh at me when I talk about this. But you take Granny, who makes just some awesome pies. And she loves making those pies. Man, when it's a family reunion, it's a holiday, everybody wants to go to Granny's because she's making those pies. And somebody says, Granny, you ought to open up a pie shop, a bakery, and you ought to sell those. And all of a sudden, she's there from sun up to sundown selling pies, except the joy's gone from it. The happiness she got from it is gone. That's somebody that was a hobbyist that thought she wanted to be a business person and realized now the business owns her. How many times have we seen this happen to people? They thought this is what they wanted to do, but they realized, man, that really wasn't my passion. Here's some people that we would call independent professionals. Bitcoin experts. Now, this isn't me saying this. This literally comes off Small Business Trends. Okay, these are people that are independent contractors, more than likely like you are, like I am, like Freddie Sheets is. They're people that are experts at what they do. They have fun doing what they do. They became a student of their industry and they've excelled at it. Legal entry structuring, have no clue what that is. International accounting standards, people that go in and help businesses make sure that when they're expanding internationally, they're doing it correctly. Trade law, that's one. Trademark consulting. Top tech positions, image object recognition, virtual machines, Google AdSense API creators, backup administrators. Here's some top marketing skills for you marketers. Behavioral design. Bet you didn't know about that, and that has to do with a lot of different things. Event photography, lead magnet professional, paid social media engager, innovative strategist, double-click bid manager, pitch deck, venture capital consulting. See where I'm going with this? There's so many different things, but when you're out there talking about, I'm an entrepreneur, she's an entrepreneur, the odds are that's not true. It's kind of like people that we say, hey, man, he's a leader. Well, how do you know she's a leader? Well, she ranked up in our comp plan. How many times can you get a hold of her in a day? Well, she doesn't have time for me. Maybe she's not a leader. Maybe she just ranked up. We use words that make really no sense. One of my big buddies, Jeff Welch, tells me, Troy, you beat a dead horse on this stuff. And I probably do to a certain degree, except that what I want is people to be educated and intelligent and understand inside of themselves that when they sit there and they look and they say, man, I just didn't make it as an entrepreneur, that's really a false belief you've created in yourself because you weren't an entrepreneur in the first place. And if you don't focus on the wrong thing, then all of a sudden you might realize, hey, I succeeded at something. I became a better professional. I'm a better employee. I'm a better mom and dad, whatever the case is. There's a lot of stuff here, guys, to unpack in today's episode. And we're going to cover more and more as the weeks go forward. Hey, in closing, let me say this. The new show will be airing it 3 days a week. It'll be aired from Maple Street Biscuit Company. We'll be doing the video as well as the podcast. We'll strip down the video, use the audio. We're going to be doing a great podcast. That way, you guys don't have to look at my ugly mug. But if you get any content out of it, you're going to be able to enjoy it. I want to thank again all of our supporters, Maple Street, Freddie Sheets over at Allen's Cooling, the DS Edge, the First Gig Economy Summit that's coming up, and my beautiful wife. Guys, listen, it's been fun. I love doing these. Send us in any info. I love the news that we're getting in now that we can cover and help you guys know what you're doing. So stay humble, stay strong, and you've been listening to the voice of Main Street Business. We'll see you next week.